What's up, everyone? Today we are going to be looking at what our options are for 2023. We're going to kind of like continue on that conversation that we were having yesterday. Apparently I overheard Danielle. She says she has an idea, so let's go and see what is that idea, Danielle?
This is putting me on the spot. I don't know my idea anymore.
You literally just were like, I have an idea.
Yeah, and then it left me because I got nervous.
No, you said, okay, melded on it. What you said, so these are my thoughts after letting everything meld in the middle of the night. That's what you said.
And what melded? What are your thoughts?
Well, I did look at some buildings and I did send them some options. You did. I feel like I had no direction on like what we would want, and if aesthetically pleasing things is the desire, then there's gonna be two separate buildings. Like there's gonna be a photo studio and there's gonna be a, you know, this kind of studio. There's not gonna be two. This is gonna be the best like bang for your two options, because we got to design this studio and like make it what it is, but no one else is gonna let us do that, and we're not gonna put $1 million into a building. So
that is right.
If we move, and then we would have to have two separate places still and figure that out. I think that we want to have the most potential to succeed, which means you have to have money. So if we can make this work for 2 years, because really 1 year doesn't make sense, and we can make more money with, because it's like less money, you know, spending less money here. Like the lease is gonna be less, because if you go anywhere else, much more expensive. Not necessarily per square foot more expensive, but because you're getting a bigger building, it becomes more expensive. If we can keep more money in the business to help it grow and sacrifice the space for 2 years, then I think we could get what we want in 2 years. I think if we move now, we'd be getting something less of what we want, but more space.
Because that is expensive.
And the reason the aesthetically pleasing thing matters is because not only do we film a lot, we've been in my grungy basement and like not having light was terrible, but we also have lots of pictures. So like, and so like to take mirror pictures and like the clothes, and there's nowhere to do that in here right now. I just wonder if we can move things around and make that happen here rather than go somewhere else where it's uglier but have more space. Like one place I found was almost like a house, which is kind of like this, where it's like rooms, but it was ugly. Like,
not a lot of light.
it looked like what this used to look like old dentist rugs and like not white walls, and I don't know. And do we want smaller rooms? I don't know what we want.
I feel like the smaller rooms give us a lot more wall space to use and utilize.
Yeah, it's hard because what we want is like pretty unique, I feel like. Because like you can find a huge warehouse space that's wide open, but then it's like that's not really gonna work for what we do, because like this is very loud. Everybody else will film and they have doors on their rooms that like you guys can all close your doors and like block out this sound, and so we can't be in one big room together. Like we need sunlight for pictures, we need like, it needs to be pretty, but it also needs to be efficient. It's just a lot. I do have an idea though for how we could get back some of our aesthetic space.
In this building?
Yeah, I think if I give up my clothing racks and I take back my shelves, that's like probably the most aesthetic place in here, is like this area out here, because like there's sunlight and there's a white wall, and this is where we used to like film stuff and take pictures and stuff. So if these weren't here anymore,
like this would be your
again.
I mean, this is kind of like my favorite backdrop, right? Like right here.
But if like this wasn't here,
yeah,
and we could change out the background, like, I don't know, stuff that's, you know, cute stuff, I think that would make a big difference. These shelves really made this area look not cute.
Yeah, it is just like storage.
That's my recommendation.
It's a good recommendation. Ensley, what are your thoughts? Ensley was sharing earlier that she thinks that we probably don't have a lot of room to add additional machines.
Yeah, I feel claustrophobic now.
You feel claustrophobic
So
now,
I can
Ensley?
imagine
I didn't
more
know.
machines that would be ultra claustrophobic.
I didn't know you were feeling claustrophobic.
I think that the rooms make it feel that way too. It's not like an open space, you know? Like
No.
you're constantly trapped somewhere, which can make it feel claustrophobic to me.
Yeah. And like, my day-to-day job, like, it's not super efficient right now. Like, I have to do a lot of walking.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of walking.
You mean like from room to room
But
to
no
room?
one liked my
From
efficiency ideas
here
for that.
to there to there to here to back and forth out here to over there to up there to back over there. I get a lot of steps a day.
Mm-hmm.
I think you need one of those like carts, like a mail cart, like that, or like a library cart.
Well,
like,
I
put
think
stuff
we
on
should
and
do
move it
what
around.
we used to do.
That would be
We
nice.
used to, like, she used to pull all her things at once. So that would
With
be
the
more
cart?
efficient. Well, she used to do it with bins, which is basically a cart without wheels.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like all
Like-
all the orders?
Yeah,
Like, I would
you'd
make
have
the
a
list for you
list,
again.
and then you'd pull all your stuff. So you wouldn't have to go back and forth.
Oh, well, I do that, but I don't have a lot of space to put stuff, so sometimes I don't.
Mhm.
So I leave them.
But I feel like you pull up an order and walk. Pull up an order and walk.
Yeah,
Like
if I'm shipping them, yeah, I mean I could do a list.
That would at least bulk you in there and then bulk you over here.
That avoids Lauren having to take the time to make me a list and for paper to be used.
Could be electronic.
Could be electronic, but then I have to carry my computer with me.
Yeah, I actually used to make
I've had-
Benny's list for her. I gave it to her in Google Drive. The boys like theirs printed on
Yeah,
paper
you
'cause
could-
they
you
mark
could
it off.
do
We
that.
have an iPad.
Yeah, you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the problem. I mean like orders in general.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
just all the time.
I feel like because what I try to do is like think about other people who have been where we've been and grown. Like, where are they at?
Mm-hmm.
And like a place like Pink Lily, like those people also have to walk a lot.
Yeah.
Because like there's bins everywhere. So if someone buys this and that, they're having to go from aisle A to aisle Z.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like some things are inevitable, but if there are ways to fix other things, then like it's important.
Yeah, like
It's hard to-
that doesn't bother me. Like pulling orders isn't as big of a deal as much as like when the most thing that I do like day to day is like shipping embroidery, and like my clothing rack is like right here and I have to hang stuff. I don't have anywhere to put stuff. And if anything piles up like embroidery wise, it's like in my space. So like I can't do anything until I package it all
Yeah, I
and
think
get rid of it.
staging things is like what's hard.
Yeah.
Is like once things are done being made and they're like ready to package, but like she hasn't done it yet, that stuff all builds up. And then like for me, like having somewhere to keep all this stuff builds up. Shelving would probably help.
Because in the past we've tried to like, if Lauren couldn't make the whole order, then like we wouldn't make the order, but then that didn't work either well. So like,
No, and it's fine that
Yeah.
we hold on to it, so I don't have a lot of space to hold on to stuff.
yeah, either way is not ideal, but we don't have an ideal situation yet.
Not to mention that now there's coffee business too, so I'm also dealing with that. And the bubble wraps in the bag, and you gotta get the mug, and then you gotta go there, and then you gotta get the coffee, and then you gotta go get a box, and then you gotta make the box, and then you gotta put the box, and then you gotta go put the box over there. So it's a lot.
Mhm.
But we're not complaining. We love when people
No,
order.
this is not me complaining. Put this on the record.
I think we can improve it though. Like we've really just been like, we've been really focused on improving like business wise. Like when we've been having our meetings, we've been talking about like marketing and like new ideas for the future and those sort of things. And now I think like now that we kind of had a lot of stuff come in at one time, we've seen our inefficiencies with our processes more because we've had to process so many more orders. So now we've got our wheels turning on like how do we get more efficient in that way.
Mhm. Save the steps for Ensley and
Yeah, I
everybody
mean,
else.
Even since I started here, like, it's improved. So
Mhm.
First step, take down the Christmas tree.
No, it's so festive.
Wasted space.
but also, I don't say anything unless I'm asked. Like, y'all probably never knew I was thinking this because you never asked me,
Now we're
and I just
asking.
deal with it.
I kind of know you though. I know how you feel like about like.
Lauren speaks
Yeah.
for me.
Well,
She
I
does.
I know that Inslee isn't a huge fan of like change or
No.
like,
That's also the problem, yeah.
yeah.
Is like, oh, if I tried to move something, then she doesn't like it.
I adapt though. I said I adapt.
You do adapt.
I could be. a
It's
little
like
grumpy.
the other day. You don't like it at first, but then you learn like if it was good or not.
Yeah.
It definitely makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get
It
that.
makes me uncomfortable.
Me
It does.
too.
It
Me
does.
too.
Yeah.
Comment below if change makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I feel like most people it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't like change.
Yeah, it's hard.
Even if it's for the best, sometimes we rebel against it.
Having Dani helping me with embroidery, it's so helpful, but there is like this aspect of it that's hard for me because it's changed to my normal routine, and like having somebody else in the room, like it's super helpful. It's what we have to do, but it's also can be hard to adapt to the change. Like, what do I do?
Right. It's different from your daily routine.
Right.
And you have a way of doing things.
Right.
That's how I am, yeah.
Yeah. The interesting part too about the bubble wrap in the boxes is I had them up here, but then you put them back there.
Yeah, they were in the way.
Yeah. So I don't know what is more.
What I would do, I haven't opened it yet because I haven't finished using that bubble wrap in like this. Would like tear off pieces and put it up here. I just haven't opened it yet.
Yeah, that's what
But I didn't think the bubble wrap could live up here. There were 2 huge rolls of bubble wrap.
Yeah, but that's kind of the storage is the extra than the
Yep.
like what can be used kind of like this, like tissue paper, but then extra tissue paper. I have tore off sheets, so there's actually still some up
Yeah,
there.
there is some up there.
So like I'd pull from that, and then like when my shelf got empty, I would bring more up because that worked well for me. But then like for you, works different. So it's just like how different people work, figuring out how, like, because that's more her job. So like what works well for her is what's more important.
That's right.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
I think I agree with Danielle. I think that if we can make it work.
What did I even say?
I was listening.
Basically, you said if we can make it work here for 2 years, we're looking at the 2-year lease. If we can make it work here for 2 years, then we are in the best financial position because we obviously can afford the lease now. If we continue to grow, then we'll have even more money to do it, and we're not having to like stretch ourselves. If we're like, all right, let's not sign the 2-year lease here and let's go find a new space, it's definitely going to be more money because we're looking for more space, and that will be more financially stressful. And obviously, it's more money, but too, like in business, you never know like what to expect.
Someone's here.
You never know what to expect like for the next year, so who knows? Basically, I think that you don't know what the future is going to hold, like with how much, like what kind of business you're going to have the next year. So if we take a bigger financial commitment, it's going to be more stressful. Because of that, also we don't know what next year is going to hold. So I think that if we've learned anything from our experience, if we've learned anything from our experience with production and having extra space, it was helpful in the moment. I don't regret that decision, but I think that you almost want to be totally busting at the seams, like space-wise, before you say, you know what, let's go get more space.
You shaking? You are? You want more scratches?
Okay, Grace, I'm so busy. What does that sound like? I'm so busy.
It's probably been a little while since you guys have seen like the office without like cuts in camera. So like now might be actually a pretty cool time to show you guys what the space is looking like. As you can see, this is the sublimation station.
This is the
and
door.
now, yeah, you walk in right behind Dani, and then your sublimation station. This is where all the packages live before they go out. If people are coming for in-store pickup, that's what this is. Also, it's kind of like a nice little fun background. Then, this is kind of like our package staging area. We're really receiving like sweatshirts almost every single day. So this is pretty normal to have boxes up here. As Lauren said, these are the racks for like the quarter crews, coffee, boxes, stockings, overflow, that type of stuff. And then our Christmas tree that Danielle was saying is taking up too much space. And then we go into like our embroidery orders. And so this is stuff that's been cleaned up and is just waiting on things. These are orders, they're ready to go. Orders that are like toys, lick mat stockings, mugs. This is embroidery cleanup stuff. Then we come into the packaging and personalization room. I do think there are ways that we could maybe utilize this space better. There's a lot of like empty space in the middle of the room. However, a lot of the stuff you're like personalizing and turning right, so I don't think that like you could block this walkway. And I
wish that this table was in the middle. Like I wish that was its own little cubby, and
like
then this could be shelf or something.
So I think there are ways that we could maybe make this room a little bit more efficient, but I mean we're still using a lot of the space. Definitely more efficient than it was before, but this is probably the biggest room in the building. Then you guys are very familiar. This is the embroidery room. I don't think there's any more space in this room to do anything. The only option would be to lose the clothing racks and put shelving here again. That could give us a little additional space, but there's not a lot more there. The next room that isn't used a lot, but it is used every day, is the office. This is where we take phone calls. We have probably 4 phone calls that we have pretty regularly every single week. Besides that, I don't think we're using this office like a ton. I was editing a vlog, but this is probably the room that's used the least. However, you got your steamer right here, the Inslee, you know, you have the cute clothes. This is like our brainstorming board. If we need to have like, you know, certain like one-on-one conversations, but yeah, this room, I don't know. Keelan's room, which is the sewing room. Here's Keelan. I don't think that we could fit a lot of other stuff in here. This massive ironing board, I understand that it doesn't seem like it's like super efficient, but it actually is really, really efficient when you're trying to knock through orders. We have a machine over here for black thread, our Bernina for headbands, and then when 2 people are sewing, like when there's lots of orders, that's really nice. We want to be able to have that space. And then here is like storage. We were saying in the other vlog, we don't have to keep all of these boxes. I mean, we order like the paper towels in bulk, so we have extra paper towels. We probably have over 1,000 of the boxes in here. This is all excess or off-season fabric. So like now that Thanksgiving is over, we have our Thanksgiving fabric here. You know, these are excess Christmas fabric, just things like that, that people do order these things. And like I had it like a summer bandana on my list yesterday. I had to come in here and find it. And if this stuff like didn't live here, if it lived at our house, then I wouldn't be able to fulfill that. I have to go home and get it, and that's just not really efficient. This room is very efficient. I don't know that we can make this much better. It's basically floor to ceiling with storage. It's a lot of like the toys, the cute boutique clothing. I think we are using this room really well. Holly wants to steal something. You're trying to go shopping, aren't you? Then, again, more storage. Some of this stuff isn't as important, but I mean, like, there's poly mailers here. You have our stickers, you have packing tape, you have harnesses, you have like our pillow inserts, just things like that that we don't use all the time, but I think this stuff has to live here. This is like a smaller room, but I think it's used pretty efficiently. And of course, you guys are familiar with the cutting room. Obviously, this cutting table, this 2 butted up together, is massive and takes up like almost all the space, but it's helping us get through orders so much faster. It is crazy. I can lay out an entire thing of fabric here and cut like 12 bandanas in a row. Boom, 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 down the line. Obviously, you can see all our fabric. I think the last time I looked, we had like 270 fabric options. And so like I can't put, some of it is put up that's totally off season, but the other stuff has to live out here and has to have a place. And then over there's our kitchenette. So there's not a whole lot of space in the office, I feel like, to grow. So now that you guys have seen the full office, like top to bottom with like no cuts, let us know if you have any suggestions on how we can make the office more efficient, and let us know your suggestions. Should we stick it out for 2 more years here, save money, or should we like go crazy and go find a different space that has more space? Let us know that in the comments below. But this has been a really fun video. We haven't done something like this in a while, but again, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Because it's Vlogmas, we're on a roll. Bye.